Imagine a reality where Donald Trump accepts his electoral loss, gracefully departs from the presidency, and fades into obscurity. What if he embraces retirement, takes up knitting, and becomes a beloved grandpa? Or perhaps he starts a successful line of Trump-branded fidget spinners, becoming a billionaire once again. In a bizarre twist, maybe he even forms a friendship with Joe Biden, and they co-host a podcast called The Odd Couple. While these scenarios are highly unlikely, they beg the question, what if Trump's story had ended differently? Throughout his career, Donald Trump had cultivated an image of being an invincible winner in business, politics, and life, which helped him achieve tabloid fame, a successful reality TV show, and ultimately, the presidency. However, on January 20th, 2021, as he boarded Air Force One, the first president to be excluded from his successor's inauguration, Trump found himself in an unprecedented losing streak. It wasn't just the election loss that stung. It was his inability to accept and move on from this defeat that led to a series of further defeats. The initial electoral blow was particularly harsh. Only 9 incumbent U.S. presidents had lost re-election bids before 2020, with none losing by more than 7 million votes to an opponent who largely campaigned from his Delaware home due to a pandemic. This brutal defeat marked only the beginning of Trump's losing streak in 2020. The legal battles that followed were numerous and fruitless, as Trump and his allies filed dozens of separate lawsuits attempting to overturn the election results. They won just one case in Pennsylvania, where a technical issue led to the exclusion of some mail-in ballots without altering the state's outcome. Most of these lawsuits were dismissed due to lack of standing or on their merits. In fact, several cases were thrown out by judges appointed by Trump himself. One such judge, Stefanos Bibas, from the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit, delivered a unanimous ruling stating, "Calling an election unfair does not make it so. Charges require specific allegations and proof. We have neither here." In a desperate move after losing in court, former President Trump tasked renowned lawyer Rudy Giuliani with an unusual endeavor, pressuring Republican lawmakers from swing states he lost to block the certification of Joe Biden's victory. This mission focused on Georgia and Arizona, both with GOP control over the governor's mansion and state legislature. However, even staunch Trump supporters among these Republicans refused his demands as they believed it was unlawful. Georgia's Governor Brian Kemp and Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan announced that any attempt to change the election process for November 3rd would be deemed unconstitutional by the courts. The situation became more humiliating for Trump in Arizona, where Republican Governor Doug Ducey was preparing to sign paperwork certifying his state's election results on live TV when his phone rang with "Hail to the Chief" as its personalized ringtone, a call from Trump. With cameras rolling, Ducey silenced the call and certified Biden's win in Arizona, effectively dismissing Trump's efforts. Despite all 50 states confirming their election results and submitting electoral votes to Washington, Donald Trump's refusal to accept defeat persisted. He pressed Attorney General Bill Barr to utilize the Justice Department's power to overturn the election outcome. However, Barr's public statement of finding no evidence of widespread fraud led to a standstill. When acting Attorney General Jeffrey Rosen refused to follow Trump's orders as well, the president considered replacing him with another compliant individual. This plan was abandoned when the entire senior management team at the Justice Department, all appointed by Trump, threatened mass resignation. As loss after humiliation piled up, Trump remained undeterred. He attempted to gather enough votes in Congress to disregard Biden's electoral votes but failed. When this effort seemed futile, he tried to persuade Vice President Pence to intervene independently. The ensuing events are well known to all. On January 20th, 2021, Donald Trump arrived at Palm Beach International Airport with the aura of a vanquished leader. Stepping off Air Force One for the last time, he turned to the White House pool reporters accompanying him and expressed his gratitude. The absence of supporters, local officials, or even Governor Ron DeSantis, whose election success owed much to Trump's backing, highlighted the president's departure as a somber affair. Along the route to Mar-a-Lago, Trump encountered a modest group of supporters wearing MAGA hats and waving Trump-Pence flags. They held signs expressing their adoration for him, such as "We love you, 45." The presidential limo moved at a slower pace, enabling Trump to soak in the enthusiasm of these fans while also taking note of the protesters and hecklers who showed up. One group held a Biden-supportive banner, while another displayed a sign reading "Odor of Mendacity." A third poster succinctly labeled him as a loser. Post-presidency, Trump reportedly struggled to adjust to life as a private citizen. According to those who interacted with him at Mar-a-Lago during the initial weeks, he was in a deeply somber and foul mood, causing most of his friends and advisors to avoid him. Although Mar-a-Lago members would offer applause when he joined them for dinner on the patio, there were instances where he abruptly left his meal without explanation. Surprisingly, Trump, who had previously played numerous rounds of golf as president, found himself unable to complete a full 18 holes, even picking up his ball mid-round and returning home. After his presidency, an unexpected pastime captured Trump's interest, DJing at Mar-a-Lago's patio using an iPad to select his favorite tunes. During a podcast interview, he revealed that people loved when he played YMCA, which he referred to as the gay national anthem. This infectious dance music brought joy to senior citizens in Florida. Meanwhile, Republican leaders in Washington grappled with a dilemma. While some wanted to move on from Trump's presidency entirely, many GOP voters remained loyal. McCarthy shared his concerns about constituents eager for another Capitol storming just days after the attack. This sentiment was later supported by poll data showing that Trump trumped Republicans who opposed him, making figures like Liz Cheney vulnerable for impeachment votes. The results suggested potential repercussions for other Republicans who supported impeachment as well. In a staggering revelation, nearly 7 out of 10 voters in Wyoming voiced their disapproval towards Cheney's impeachment vote. This dissatisfaction was mirrored by 85% of Republicans and an astounding 96% of Trump supporters. The former president, feeling rejuvenated by these poll results, found new purpose and ambition. His goal now shifted from defeating Cheney to also vanquishing the 10 House Republicans who had betrayed him previously. Trump was determined to turn these politicians into political losers. Following the release of a significant memo by McLaughlin, McCarthy emerged as the first prominent Republican leader to visit Trump after his departure from the White House. During his 8 days away from public view, the former president had been largely invisible due to social media bans and minimal cable news coverage. Conversations about him mainly revolved around his upcoming Senate impeachment trial, slated to begin in less than 2 weeks. Privately, McConnell suggested to colleagues that he might vote for Trump's conviction, fueling momentum towards barring him from holding office ever again. At this point, Trump appeared defeated, weakened, and highly unpopular politically. In a surprising turn of events, Kevin McCarthy extended a lifeline to Trump after news of their meeting at Mar-a-Lago circulated before they even left the venue. The Save America PAC, Trump's new political organization, released a statement praising the gathering, stating that it was amicable and focused on reclaiming the House in 2022. The statement emphasized the strength of Trump's popularity and the power of his endorsement, which may surpass any other at any time. An attached photo showed Trump beaming while McCarthy appeared taken aback, almost as if he had been caught off guard by a photographer. Many fellow Republicans questioned McCarthy's decision, especially since 2 weeks prior, he held Trump responsible for the Capitol attack and encouraged him to resign. The sudden visit to Palm Beach raised eyebrows among some Republican lawmakers who were initially supportive of McCarthy. One remarked, "McCarthy going to Mar-a-Lago was sort of that initial, what the hell, type of moment." Following a meeting with President Trump at Mar-a-Lago, McCarthy released a statement emphasizing Trump's commitment to supporting Republicans in the 2022 elections and strengthening the conservative movement. However, he shared privately that the visit wasn't his idea, but rather an impromptu gathering arranged by Trump after hearing of McCarthy's fundraising activities in Florida. This meeting seemed to restore Donald Trump's position as the Republican Party's leader, just 8 days after being sidelined due to the January 6th riot. Despite previous criticisms and concerns about Trump's behavior following the 2020 election, McCarthy, like RNC Chair Ronna McDaniel, recognized the potential damage an alienated Trump could inflict on the GOP in upcoming elections. McCarthy also understood that securing Trump's support was crucial for his personal aspirations, including his goal of becoming Speaker of the House. The strategy appeared to be successful as Trump remained within the party and actively promoted GOP candidates nationwide, ensuring McDaniel's re-election as RNC chair and McCarthy's rise to Speaker of the House. Imagine if Ronna McDaniel had not pleaded with Trump to stay in the GOP fold or Kevin McCarthy hadn't visited Mar-a-Lago. These Republican leaders chose not to take the high ground, potentially leading to their replacements and furthering the list of ruined political careers due to Trump's dominance over the party. Possible outcomes could have included the formation of a Patriot Party by Trump or the GOP managing to move past the Trump era as he dwelled in Palm Beach. Regardless, we are left wondering about the consequences of their choices. One thing is certain, though, since those pivotal moments, the Republican Party has suffered greatly from accommodating an ex-president who remains embittered and vengeful. The exact repercussions may be uncertain, but it's clear that these decisions have had a significant impact on the party's trajectory and reputation.